Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Oh, it's only giving me a lesser green mutagen. It's supposed to be red. Gravity! It's working! I was watching someone play Elder Scrolls Oblivion the other day. And I remember when that game came out, the graphics were... That Hellbore? Yes, it is.
Winds howling.
Why do you say that? The sky is blue, the grass is green. Wind's howling, okay. And there's something else up here. Let's go kill it. Stop sheathing. That should be a setting. When I want to sheath my sword, I will sheath my sword. It's not like I don't know how. I've had Geralt sheath sword right in the middle of battle, and then I'm left fighting something multiple levels above me with just my fists. And then, of course, what happens is I'll get stunned, and then I can't draw. Ooh. Ooh, a pinecone one. I love the Arrakis. Ooh. Okay, I don't like it so much when that happens. Ow! Oh, I love those pine cones. Da 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 da. So blue mutagen. And let's just take a stop for those beggar tip blossoms. Die. And he sheathed his sword again. Don't do that. I like the inside of a predator mouth. You gotta love it, but I still don't understand how these huge insects manage to live. They've done scientific studies, from what I understand, that show that you could have larger sized insects in the prehistoric eras because the concentration of oxygen was higher, I think. Concentration of one of the gases was higher, and so it was able to support larger sized carapaces or something of the sort. So if this... Well, you've got humans here. Of course, you don't know for a fact that the makeup of these humans is using the same oxygen. But you kind of wonder how the insects get that big. And then you also have to kind of wonder, how do they eat enough to support themselves? I encountered some in Skellige, and you're kind of like, there is no way in heck, unless those things are eating algae, that living on this small tiny island you'd be able to support like 4 insectoids. Suppose I should eat something. And drink something, I guess. There we go. Ooh, hop umbrals. You know, I've hardly ever used hop umbrals, but for some reason it still brightens my day when I find some. I guess because I like brewing in real life. In theory, anyway. I've never brewed beer. I've made wine. Mead. Honey wine. Necrophage. And mole yarrow. They just regenerate? I guess they did. Well, I'll come back and kill you again. I'm good like that. No mutagen at all. And no mutagen at all. Which is fine. I mean, I don't really have another space to put one anyway. I mean, 2 red mutagens in my inventory is enough. I really wish they had some sort of a gold mutagen. I'm surprised they haven't done that as an expansion. Really nice to get a higher percentage on some of the gold attributes. So, we have killed the incredible reincarnating insectoids, and we are heading off to find that bear steel sword diagram. Once we check the area using our spidey senses. Well, okay, technically it's our Witcher senses, but who cares? Oh, right, and then the one time I'm not going into battle, he doesn't sheath his sword. It really ought to be a setting. Don't sheath the sword unless the user sheaths it. Here, worker, 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 worker. And still no mutagens. I'm so sad. And let's loot before we go kill the rest of them. And she misses. Now, I've never had an explanation from anyone for why the trees sound like that. Sounds like an ant walking or something. And yet, it's not a monster. It's just the sound of certain forests in this world. Just kind of wonder why that is. Hey, didn't I see... Ah. Bear? Sounds like a bear. That would make sense. X marks the spot. Oh, looks like an elemental. Of course, if it's a golem, then I'd need the relic oil. But let's assume it was an elemental. Hey. Uh-oh. I don't remember that being there. I really wish they would group everything together. They keep changing the order every time I upgrade my oils, and then I have trouble getting to things when I need it. It is an elemental, that's always nice. And of course, art doesn't really work on them. Ooh. Die. Thank you. Fused shard. Ah, a chest. Famous last words in D&D. Dragon Magazine, one of the most... My favorite ones was, "I will now open the chest." I have to say, I do not miss having trapped chests. Like when you're playing Oblivion and Skyrim and then you have to disable them or unlock them. I like instant gratification. Just kind of go over to the chest and you open it and you get your loot. What am I doing? Oh yes, I'm here to have something to eat. One other thing that I've noticed about this is that the people who made this game definitely favor fried foods. Their fried meat gives you some of the best vitality over a whole bunch of the other proteins. It's actually kind of sad. It's a good thing they don't live in New York. The mayor might sue them for promoting unhealthy eating. Okay. Sheath the sword, Geralt. Thank you. Since we're exploring, the current goal for today is to wipe out every question mark possible on the map. So I'm going around and finding all the places that I haven't managed to visit yet, except for that one. Because I think I've spent over 2 different sessions, a total of 30 minutes or more, trying to get up to that one. And I have to assume that that's part of the main quest line. So I've given up on it. Ooh, island. I love swimming out to islands. And the House of Respite, which I haven't been in yet. It sounds like a whorehouse, doesn't it? Or like the Knights Templar on the way to Jerusalem. Alright, let's hang a right, and then we can take the horse. Of course, that's assuming this is a real road and not one of their roads that aren't actually paths at all. Hey, Roach. There we go.
Come on.
Okay, and of course I get completely disoriented. Now we're going this way. It'd probably be easier to take a right. Giddy up. Ah, I hate wolves. Ah, they bother my horse. And one area where their path following is buggy. Thank you. And more wolves. Now, I don't think there could possibly be enough wildlife and dead people to account for all the wolves. Although I appreciate the realism. Makes you realize how awful it would have been to live in the old days in a time of war. Ooh, bandits. Whee! Ha 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 ha. That wasn't very nice. Wearing nothing but linen brays. That it? 3 of them? Guess that was it. Huh. Got another copy of It Disappeared. Well, I hope that wasn't a quest item. Notice since the latest update, some of the creatures that aren't quest creatures and some of the items that aren't really quest items